And the time is 5 to 1 in the morning, and that right now commences deadline week. Good morning, people. The time is currently 9 AM on Friday the 6th of May, and as you can tell, I've just woken up. I feel half asleep. Let's get the day going. Beautiful mornings like this don't get much better. Lovely just to open up the blind in the morning and see that bright blue sky. It's amazing. So first thing this morning, I'm going to head to the gym, get a gym session in, do some cardio, get sweating a bit, and then I've got a meeting at university for 11:15. So I've got about an hour and a half to go to the gym and get myself back. So let's do this. I need to wake up a little bit as well. Meeting done, was a good meeting. The time is now 12 o'clock and I'm now going to the cinema to see Doctor Strange. So I'll give you a review in 3, 2, 1. Okay, that film was very, very strange, pardon the pun. If I'm being completely honest, I wasn't a huge fan. I think there was far too much stuff going on, far too many layers to the story. I don't want to obviously give any spoilers for any of you guys that haven't seen it yet, but it was a nice 3 hours off. I'm now back at my flat. I'm in one of those moods where I just don't feel like doing work. I'm just sat here on this chair just thinking I don't really want to do any work. The thing that's keeping me consistently going at the moment is knowing that I literally have like 10 or 11 days left, and then I'm going to have like 4 months off from university. So that is currently my motivation. So let's do this. Let's just get it done. 7:15 and we've made some progress. I've just done a nice looking page, to be fair. I'm liking it. This is the page that I've just done. This is it on Photoshop, on InDesign. Basically a site section with some squares that I'm zooming in on here, which are just going to basically show activity. This links to that because it's taking a picture of the landscape. And then another section here with the plan here, but I think this is looking nice. Okay, so now let's talk about the portfolio. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about the work itself. I'm more going to be discussing how to structure my portfolio, or how I've structured my portfolio, and making it a smooth and clear, professional, graphically communicated project, and also following some kind of narrative within my project. So they're going to be the key things that I'm going to be discussing in this portfolio. Okay, I'm just going to pause it here to introduce today's sponsor. Yes, so today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community to help you guys as creatives, as individuals, to take your work to the next level. Obviously, I'm coming very, very close to finishing my first year masters, and I'll have 4 months off. Therefore, I've got plenty of time to be working on my YouTube channel, my Instagram page, and therefore Ali Abidal's class on Skillshare will be perfect for you guys. Ali Abidal is a very, very successful YouTuber within the productivity space, and his starting a successful side hustle is a great class for you guys. He previously has many Skillshare videos regarding productivity and mastering productivity, but in this specific class, he talks about how you can make time for your side hustles within an existing busy life. And he focuses on things such as efficiency and staying motivated in the long term to deal with setbacks and failures. So if you guys want to build on your side hustles, make sure you check out Ali Abidal's class, and the first 1,000 people to click the link down below in the description or use my code will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Now back to the video. So this portfolio is due in 10 days now, and it's going to be 50 pages, so we've got a maximum of 50 pages. But this is portfolio 1 and portfolio 2 combined. So if you guys would have watched my submission back in January, you guys would have seen that I did a portfolio 1. And this is going to be comprised of both of these portfolios put together. So portfolio 1 was 25 pages, and that is not really going to be changing significantly. I might make a tweak here and there to a couple pages to kind of make the project narrative a little bit stronger, leaning towards my proposal. But all in all, it's going to be that pretty set. Therefore, I've got 25 pages to show the proposal. So essentially, that is going to be the structure of the portfolio. And it's going to be really important to show the research leading directly through into the proposal and making sure that everything is graphically communicated and the narrative and everything is going to be leading through into this project and making it look like one portfolio rather than two separate portfolios, because that is going to be really important. So if you guys would have seen my video back in January, you would know quite a lot of detail about this portfolio one that I did. But one of the important things is when I'm putting together a portfolio, I go through and I make a clear structure for what the portfolio is going to be. But in this case, I've got the front cover, I've got the contents page, which I think in the contents page, it's really important to give people a bit of an insight into what's to come, not just in the list of contents and the pages that are going to be coming up, but in this case, for example, I've got a visual here, which indicates the body of research that is going to be coming, and also a quote here that gives people a bit of an insight into what's to come. And then I lead directly into my first bit of research, which I guess is really, really important to my project. And this leads exactly into everything that I'm researching. And so this is really important for this to come first. And obviously the chronology of the work that I produced and the order of the work is obviously really important to make it a really smooth narrative. So we've got my initial research into cinema and motion picture, then the devices, then I created my own device and concept model. This is the concept model, some drawings of that. I then looked at film sets in response to the camera and the frame. I then showed my film set with my model. I then went into architecture captured by cinema, so the sequence and the montage sequence. So this is the Schwazi Acropolis analysis that I did. I then got architecture promenade, which is this. So this is all architecture captured by cinema. And then this goes into my site. So that is kind of how I've led into my project. Then got some information about the site. And then a lot of mapping that responds directly to some of the works of Sergei Eisenstein and Bernard Tschumi, which comes on earlier on in my analysis of cinema and architecture. And then I do a series of drawings of that. And then I lead into my proposal, which is going to be responding directly to that information. So as you can clearly see, there is a narrative, really important, and make sure you really structure it to create the narrative that you want to create. So now, when it comes to a portfolio, I think the first thing to do is set out exactly what you want on each page. And obviously that can change throughout as you're developing the drawings and developing the work. But what I typically do is I put literally just in big text here, independent filmmaker visualization, how I envision the space / activities. And this is really important because as you're going through the portfolio and constructing the portfolio, you can really start thinking about exactly what needs to be done and what you've got planned to get done. And once you've kind of identified what's going on each page, you can then start planning out your days and how many hours you want to spend on each drawing and figuring out exactly what is to get done for the submission. So I typically just do big text like this, for example, to indicate what's going on each page. And this is going to be a visualization that is going to identify my proposal and basically introduce the proposal in response from my research. I then go into research here. So as you can see, this is already following the kind of black and white and red graphic communication of my first portfolio, which is going to be really important for my project. So as you can tell, everything in my project is black, white, and red. But that is the kind of graphic style that I wanted to go for. And it would kind of give me OCD to break out of that. But that is something really important, is to make sure not only do you tell a story in the work, but also in the graphic style. I think that's really important too. So this is going to be information about independent filmmakers, and this is going to be a diagram here. I then go into the filmmaker's needs and potential spaces, potential arrangement of spaces, and how I want to start designing the project. I then lead into some drawing systems which respond directly to my research and my mapping that I did of the site back here. So these mappings here directly influence my project. So that is what this is. I did a model of that, which you guys would have seen clips of. And then I lead into my project. And this is a site plan. So the kind of style that I wanted to go with the drawings is kind of just really crisp and fine drawings. So what I mean by that is I want to kind of go for this kind of sketchy look with really fine and lightweight drawings, because I think this just looks really nice and really neat. So as you can tell here, that's the kind of style that I'm going for. Once again, black and white with a bit of red. So these are some drawings. So this is a landscape plan. These are some landscape views. I've got a dark sky, even though this isn't at night. I wanted to put in the dark sky because I think it provides a bit of a contrast between the kind of light of the spaces and the sky. So I think it looks actually quite nice. And then I've got drawings like this, for example. This is just indicating some stuff that is going to be coming. Some sections, which is obviously going to be really important for my project because it is being it's responding to the landscape and the slope of the site. So typically at university, you'll get a set of drawings. You need a floor plan, you need a site plan, you need a roof plan, you need a section, you need a detail, for example. But you can also use those drawings to be able to help the narrative of your project. For example, I haven't just kind of flung together a floor plan, a section, etc. I've organized it in a way that responds very strongly to my research. So for example, here in the project, I introduce the drawing system. I then introduce a model of that drawing system, and then I introduce a site plan which is responding exactly to that drawing system, as you can see by these lines. And then I zoom in to some other areas, and so I go from a very large scale, zoom in a little bit, and then I zoom in a little bit more, and I zoom in a little bit more. So as I'm going through the portfolio, I'm poking into elements of the proposal and I'm creating a narrative. And I know I just keep saying I'm creating a narrative, but I can't stress enough how important that is. And here is another visualization. So this is following exactly on from my section, because the section gives an insight into these spaces. I then do a visual of these spaces, and then I dive into the floor plans. So once again, this is very strategically put together to make sure that it's responding directly to the next page and everything is linking between. So as you can see here, once again, I've got big text to indicate what is to come, because these are the drawings that I haven't done yet. And so with the floor plans, I've got 6 different floor plans, and I didn't think it would be successful if I just put them one after another. And so what I wanted to do was I wanted to do a floor plan and then a zoom in on that floor plan and maybe a perspective view of that space, and then a floor plan and then a zoom in of those floor plans, or a diagram of what's going on in that space, and then a zoom in and then the same thing, a zoom in, same thing, floor plan, zoom in, floor plan, zoom in. And therefore I'm creating these moments where I'm peering into the project, and rather trying to cram everything together as if it's just a set of orthographic drawings, I'm trying to create a narrative and the best possible way for you to understand my project through the structure of the portfolio. And then I go into environmental strategy, materiality, and roof systems. And that is pretty much the portfolio. So obviously the important thing here is that 50 pages isn't actually that much. Initially, it was actually going to be a maximum 30 pages, which would have been really, really obviously defined, and it have to be really kind of structured well. But with 50 pages, you have to think really carefully on the information that you are including and making sure that the drawings that you are producing are going to be really key visuals and key information to the project. It's going to be best describing the project. And obviously, if you've got only a maximum amount of pages, it's going to make the narrative and the graphic communication of the portfolio even more important. And that is what I wanted to discuss today in my portfolio. And I've still got a lot of work left to do. As you can see, I've got quite a few gaps which need to be done. And I know these drawings are going to take me some time, but we're getting there, and that's important. So yeah, let's get on with some work. And the time is 5 to 1 in the morning, and that right now commences deadline week. So this now enters my deadline week for my first year portfolio submission at master's level, and I'm going to be doing a full deadline week video. I'm going to be filming this week, so make sure you look out for that in the next video. But that is going to be a wrap on today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoyed an insight into my current portfolio, my layout. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash the thumbs up button, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you next time. Peace.